What's going on, everybody? Welcome. I'm Susu. For those of you that don't know, it's an absolute pleasure having you. Crazy day in the market. I already put the one video regarding TVIX, Dow Jones, and Boeing up. We're going to get into some of the biotechs that are going crazy. We're starting with INO Pharmaceuticals. Now, what we're going to do is, if you're a new trader, we're just going to be looking at the technicals here. We don't give a shit about the fundamentals. We don't give a shit about the products or the potential for this, that, and the other thing. We're looking at the technicals and how those are going to affect the stock price. Now, looking at Inovio, this thing's been blasting off. A friend of mine had this, and apparently they were ready to hold this for a while, and they didn't. Now, one thing I want to show you is that this is one of my favorite things ever, is whenever you look at a stock and you see the old swoopy swoop. Now, let's get an idea of how we got everything looking here. What do I have? You don't see an RSI. You're not seeing the Williams percent R. You're not seeing the MACD. None of that stuff. We're not even looking at that stuff. You can use it. Totally useful here, but I'm not putting it in here because I need this chart to be as big as possible. And we're doing it on a phone so you guys can follow along, since 99% of people are doing all their trading through their devices these days. Okay, so bing bong boom, we got that laid out. How the hell did I get this picture? All right, so we got the charts there. You're looking at a fundamental chart, or forgive me, just a basic chart of a 3-month chart, and you're seeing the red lines and then the lines in between. So this is what you're seeing. You're seeing these lines out here. Those are your Bollinger Bands, and then there's one that goes down the middle. Okay, that's what you're seeing. And then in addition to that, you're seeing all the stuff in between. And the stuff in between is your EMA lines. That would be the ones up here. They actually show you the colors right there: maroon, green, and blue, and you see those passing through the mid-range there, coming down here, so on and so forth, right? So we're going to be using those as our guiding force whenever a stock begins to blast off, as they say, and goes to the moon. Then one of the things you want to do there is make sure that you have your EMA set up, because your simple moving average is no longer useful at that point. You need your exponential because it's tied to volume. Simple moving average has nothing to do with volume, simply price over a period of time. And exponential has everything to do with that volume, because that volume, you always like the VWAP, volume weighted average price. It's very crucial because this says, depending on how many shares were traded, what are the averages. And that's so important because that's how many people are involved. You have the amount of people. It's very important. It's not like, hey, a stock was sitting at $3 while only 4,000 people or 4,000 shares traded hands. Obviously, that's worthless data. It tells you nothing. What's very useful is depending on how much volume, what were people willing to pay, and that's crucial. All right, so let's take a look here. So looking at this, we're going to take a look first of all at the 1 day and see what's going on here. And I just want to show you guys a little trick like we've always been able to do in terms of a useful bit of information, is whenever you see breaks outside of the Bollinger Bands, which are those red lines, you want to try to take those and use that as an opportunity to potentially buy if you are waiting on the sidelines. So if you're on the sidelines, you're like, I wanted to get in, but I'm not really sure, and I just want a quick intraday sell. You just want to buy it intraday, meaning buy it at open, sell it shortly thereafter. One good way is to try to utilize the Bollinger Bands, especially when they're set up like this right here, where see how they are? They're very locked in this way. They're not facing up. They're not going like this, and they're not going like that. They're just locked sideways. Then that is a very good channel, right? That is a very level channel to where everybody's pretty much saying within this range is fair. So when it breaks out or breaks up within that intraday zone, you can be guaranteed that that the opportunity is more likely you're going to make money if you buy it when it breaks out than when you buy it when it breaks up. Okay, and breaking out means when it falls below that red line, as you saw right there where I drew that line. As you can see how it came out there really bad, and then you see the reverse up. Now, of course, look what it did. It went up there. Now, one of the other things you want to look at when you're seeing this is watching this beautiful curve. You see this curve right here? See how it's like this, and then it gives that curve, and then as this goes up and comes down, you almost see like that flag forming. What I mean by flag is like the bull flag forming, because anything that goes up and then comes down like this, you get that bull flag forming. When you actually take a look at it, you can see it when you draw the lines out. So if you were to just take these right here and you create another one, just duplicate that, you can take those and kind of go like this. And when you go like this, if you see that now, in this case, this is much more of this looks like more like a pendant than anything else. Let me see here, because if you actually look from here, if you go like this, It almost, well, no, that's about right. It's just, there's a lot of movement there, but that's more of a flag actually, because if you actually go like this, and this is your true range, and you know, you have much more like a flag going on there. One of the things you want to look at though is the way it comes back down to these lines right here, the EMA lines, and this is always very important, because see how it broke down? It broke down to the 10-day EMA on the 1-day chart. So this is intraday, but that's still the 10-day line. And when it came down, pretty much that's the last line before you get back to the middle Bollinger Band. It was a good opportunity to buy. As you saw someone take advantage of that and they brought it back up. Now this is that swoop that's trying to form. So this thing could be about to break back out to go above 9. I'm not exactly sure. I took the picture at 860, so let's see if it gets. Oh, I also wanted to mention the time frame I'm using. If you look at the frequency, which is that right there, so within any time frame, if you're looking at a 1-day chart, 5-day, 1 month, 3 months, so on and so forth, all the time you have the opportunity to select the frequency of the candles. In my case, I'm using 15-minute candles, I believe. Yeah, 15 minutes for the 1 day. Sometimes I use 30-minute. Watch what happens if you change it to 30-minute. See, you get a way bigger candle, and it's a little bit harder to see movements. Some people even use the 5-minute. The 1 minute I choose not to. For the 1 day I use the 15. For the 5-day I use the 30-minute. For the 1 month and the 3 month I use 1 day candles, and then for 6 month and 1 year I use 1 week candles, and then for anything over 3 years I use 1 month candles. That's my choice. However, you're always allowed to do what you did. So I said 9. We possibly could see 9. That would be, we're gonna have to get through 878 first, because you have the top of the Bollinger Band there, but you may get a nice, here you may get something like this forming, where the 5-day comes up and then that gets to expand a little bit, and you may get to travel up until like noon. You may get to 9. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a possibility. It definitely wants to hold up above those lines, so let's see what happens. It got good support there. Now for the 1 month line, actually let's go all the way to the 3 month, because we want to go back to kind of see where this happened. And this is that swoopy swoop that I always talk about, and I joke around with such a stupid name, like a childish name, so I say it. But if you actually look, this is that thing I'm talking about, that swoop. It's where actually it comes here and levels out, but that's not even the swoop. The swoop takes place here. You can see how the lines get that divot and then swoop up, okay? And then what happens is, see how it comes down? It comes right back down to that 10-day line there. Here's another chance for that swoop right here. When it comes up here and it goes like this, that's the swoop, and look how it goes. I mean, people call this swing trading. It really is swing trading, because imagine like swinging on momentum. You're getting these wobbles and then these launches, and it makes total sense when you actually look at everything. Makes sense when you look at, you know, history, right? Because, you know, hindsight's 2020, but actually that can teach you a lot about the future. So when you see those forming, kind of like you're seeing today, even though it's a bit scary, you see it forming, meaning, because a lot of people are like, it's already up 7%, but it was down here, so on and so forth, and it's already was up to this and that. If you look at the 1 month, it went the high was, you know what, where we got 940. So sometimes it can be difficult to believe it's going to go, but when you see these lines right here forming that upward momentum, then you do actually still have an opportunity to hold. So I would just suggest people who are already hold it. I personally would not like to buy here, because I don't like to buy things when they're very high compared to where they were just a month ago. You guys know that about me. I tend to put an alert in. So in this case, I would look at this, and then I would try to grab it anywhere around like 7, or even where this blue line is down here. I would wait, and I know this can sound crazy to people that are in it right now. I wanted to go to 15 and to the moon and all that shit, but I would actually, because there's been so much support around that blue line, that 10-day, I would actually wait for that to come up. So maybe that will come to like here, and maybe this can come down, meet it. This will continue to come up and meet it, and then of course that will come up, and then this is where I would try to get the bounce. So a little bit under 7. So I'll actually delete that photo, and then I'll put it in right here, an alert at or below $7. Okay, so at or below $7, create that alert, and then I just don't watch it. I don't give a shit what it does. If it comes to me, if it breaks below 1, I mean, forgive me, if it breaks below 7, I'll be alerted. Then I'll relook at the chart and see if there's something I can find out from there. So that's you know, possibility there. Next, let's go to let's do VSTM. I talked about VSTM in my last video for just a moment, and the reason why is because I could not believe how strong this was. You're getting like a little bit of capitulation from the shorts now, where like, shit, you know, this thing's actually breaking above 3. Real quick, let's look at the 5-year. And this is one thing I know a lot of people are like, 5 years, Jesus, buddy, like, why? But this is why, because look at how stupid I am. Look at how stupid we all are. If you actually take a look at the 5-year chart, look at how fucking dumb we are, dude. We're so dumb in that a lot of us saw this and we ignored that. Look at that. I mean, it's right there for us to see. This thing does not like to break below that price. And we all saw it, right? We all paid attention to it and did nothing about it. Not all of us, but a lot of us, right? You saw VSTM, that's been getting its ass kicked. Well, that's when you buy it, right? We all supposed to buy it at that price, and we did it. And there it is, getting all that support that it needs, and then just exploding off of it. Now, this is one of the amazing things about this. If you actually take a look, let's look at the last time. So right here, you had the run up to the middle Bollinger Band. This is the middle Bollinger Band. Here's the middle Bollinger Band. Look at how close those are. And then look what happened. It went, and when it broke above it, look at the break once it finally went to it. And look what you have here, just now above it. So realistically, if we're going to look and draw another support line of where, resistance line of where it could be going in terms of running into some resistance, well, obviously you have resistance there, which is what it had trouble with this morning, which puts it around 312 range, 315 range. And then the next time you're really going to have some serious resistance is probably going to be, I mean, you're going to have these few levels here, but because remember, these are 1 month candles. So when you're seeing resistance here, this is real resistance you're seeing. This isn't like daily resistance. This is month after month. Okay, so once it gets to here, though, now that it broke through that top Bollinger, I feel like above 4 becomes like right here around this 405 to 415 range becomes resistance. Let's look at the longer term. Yeah, see, because you have, that's where it was before. Remember, former support becomes resistance when it breaks below it, and then of course your natural resistance wherever something went and couldn't get back above it. So you're looking at above 4 being a level of resistance now. If this can just get past that 315 range, you might be headed to 4. And on the 5-year chart, I don't see why someone would say that's stupid, considering, look, it just got above its Bollinger Bands there, and last time it did that, it stayed above it and rode it. So you're gonna see, like, you know, this, and then it came down this. Could that happen again? For sure. This could stay here and then just go like this, come down to it where the Bollinger Bands would come like this. Well, it wouldn't necessarily be so disgusting looking, but you guys are getting the picture where this Bollinger would come like this. Now look, these are going to come up and support it too. So if this comes back down, let's say it comes down right there and gets like a small drop. Let's say it gets a small drop right here somewhere like this. Once it comes back down, then it's going to go back up. And that's where I'm saying you're going to see that 405 range be the second run up. It has been the case. See how it went like this? Every time it's been like this, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up. So that's the thing. We have to consider what the possibilities are with these old school names, meaning old school. This was the hottest name just a year and a half ago. Oh, VSTM. Then everyone shit on it for, you know, a long time. Well, now it's coming back because now that the market looks like shit and people are waking up to the reality of things, what's the one thing that benefits no matter how shitty the market gets? Biotech. People need cancer meds. Never going to change. So we're in a situation where we have to consider this for reals, and I think we're there now. I think a lot of the market's waking up to that. You're seeing it with Sorrento. Look at Sorrento. Called my boy. Oh my God, dude, fucking run, you idiot, you fucking idiot. I'm so mad at him. I'm like, dude, buy the shit out of Sorrento right now. Swear to God, just told him this yesterday. Buy the shit out of Sorrento. Why? Because look, everybody been shitting on Sorrento. Now, I'm not saying it's going to explode, but what I was trying to tell him was this right here. I was explaining to him right there. You know, look at that. On that 5-year chart, it's been getting slaughtered, but look, that range up there, I told him that. And he didn't listen. Of course he didn't listen. Let me text him back. Let me see. See SRNE, idiot? See SRNE, bro? I don't call him idiot. Love you, man. But you have to listen. You didn't listen. I mean, now it's already up 15%. I told him, get in that range, man. It was like 210. I mean, he's already up 10% clear as day. Realistically, this morning, 207, the drop, which takes it right back to before the gap got closed. I mean, look right there. That's where that gap's getting closed. See that gap? Whoop, let me pull this up. See, right there, it took it before, right to where the gap. Here's your gap. This is your gap right here, and it came right back down to it. And of course, that wants to be a launching mechanism till the EMAs come back down. I did. Oh, okay. He did. Okay, I did. Sold 2,000 shares there. Awesome. Okay. Oh, man, I told you hold till 3. Hold until 3, bro. Anyways, yeah, I'm bummed out about that. I told him hold till 3. I mean, because the guy's just got enough money to not be afraid. He's not a peasant like me, a poor, disgusting rat fucking peasant, you know, sitting out there begging for money in the streets like I am. But the point is just there's a lot of opportunity out there for these biotechs right now. I'm gonna stop this video because I don't want to get too crazy and do 14 of them. But we covered a little bit for the VSTM. Essentially what I'm saying is you guys might get a reversal back down. I got an alert in for 290 and I think it just blasts off again. I just don't see why it wouldn't. Until it breaks back below its Bollinger Bands, I'm convinced that this run could potentially continue strong towards 4. So let's see what happens. You guys know I've been wrong in the past. Look at that, big buys. You got 57,000 on deck, 57,300 on deck at 234. There's buyers for Sorrento. I just want you guys to know I do call this shit. I know sometimes you guys look at me and you're like, this guy is so full of shit, talking about he told his friend, anyone could tell their friend. Guys, I don't lie. I swear to God, I have no reason to lie. I mean, some of the calls that I was literally telling my wife that I was mad at her because she wouldn't let me take a shit ton of our money and just bet against the market about a week ago just because I missed 2 $80 bets in a row. She was like, no, because I was like, give me like 1,000 to just go at this because I wanted it in the Robinhood because I don't know if you guys are familiar, but if you catch those drops. Now, what I mean by ask my wife is this was total waste money. You know, it's different if you're just doing, I wanted to just be willing to waste the money. And the reason why is because if you catch those drops like last week, you know, where it's like 1,000, I mean, $80 can be like, and I know you guys are going to think I'm joking. If you catch it the right way, $80 can be worth $800,000 in 5 days. And the reason why is because you're getting 1,000% moves in options. So if you have the balls, you just go 80% bet against Apple and it goes up 500%. Now you're at 400. I mean, now you're at 4,000. If it goes, well, no, yeah, they'd be right, 400. And then what would happen is if you continuously just go 400 and then you get like the moves like Nvidia or Boeing where they go up 3,000% in a day, which should happen more than a few times. You know, you catch one of those with 1,000, now you're at 30,000. If you have the balls to just go 30,000, put it all again, bet against the market. I mean, when you're talking about 700% moves, you know, 3,000 becomes 210,000 or 30,000 becomes 210,000. Up to 300,000 if it's that. I mean, you can get unbelievably large moves. Now, the only problem is towards the end of that week, options have become so expensive because everybody foresaw it, and that became problematic. But yeah, people make shit tons of money when these drops. There it goes, man. There's Sorrento. It's running, and yeah. So look for Sorrento to go to 263. Look for that 263 range, and there may be some capitulation there. I mean, there may be some selling there because that's what people are like, yo, it is, now it's collided with the EMAs. So we'll see, but don't forget, someone tried to offer him for like, try to buy him for $7 a share. That's what I was telling him like a month ago. So people forgot about that. But all right, so I'll shut this one down. Then we'll do HTBX. We're going to go into Codex. Moderna's still up. Altimmune. And we'll just take a look at some of those and then figure out maybe there's something there for us. All right. I love you guys. Peace.